everyone. We are on week 15 and 16. We skipped last week, so we're going to combine our weeks.
Busy week last week.
It was a very busy week last week, and we are officially in Florida.
We're in Ocala
Uh-huh.
at the Champions Run RV Park in Ocala. It's a pretty nice place.
It is. It's a luxury RV resort. This is Johnny Cash joining us. We have 4 fur babies and Annie the Ark with us. We've been making our updates on our TikTok at Carolyn J, Braden, and on my website, our Hurricane Ian story, carolynsbloomingcreations.com. On all social media sites, either Carolyn's Blooming Creations or Carolyn J. Braden. And we are happy to announce some good things going on the island. The farmers market is open every weekend from now until probably May. Usually it runs until it starts to get real hot.
Yeah.
And it is open in the parking lot of Jerry's. Jerry's is open. And the mail service went national, the whole thing with 4 months and no mail service. It went national on national news about 2 weeks ago. And all of that emailing the council people and who else? The Congress.
Several of the congressmen got involved. So we are now going to be having not mail delivery service, but they are going to be bringing some sort of temporary trailers, units of some sort that are going to be in the parking lot at the post office, so at least we'll be able to go there and pick up mail, and they'll do delivery and packages and stuff like that too, instead of having to drive all the way out to the airport, which is on a good day probably an hour away.
So by the end of the month, the end of January, mail service will be available. Now we did have that, we have a mailbox, so from now, today is the 16th, 19th? The 19th, and so we have a mailbox temporarily at Pack and Ship on the island, so we'll use that until the mail service is going at the end of January. So that's really, really good news. More good news is they are working so hard to open the beaches. They know spring break is right around the corner, and so they have a whole plan mapped out of certain dates, like Bowman's Beach, which is a very popular beach, which is on the end of the island closer to Captiva off of Sand Cap Road. And that right now, all of these dates are very, very, very loose, but they said probably around end of March, early April for Bowman's. And some of the other parks a little bit earlier. I know that they were trying
2 open in February.
Yep.
And then some of the other ones in March, April, and then some of the other ones the fall. They don't know about the lighthouse yet. They're going to have a whole ceremony of relighting the lighthouse when they're done.
They are going to switch out the lighthouse's light to be
LED instead of, I guess it was a halogen or something bulb before, but okay. So they are switching it to LED. Well, I guess while they were doing it, might as well. So they're going to have a whole ceremony and stuff like that when they redo that, so we look forward to that.
So beach cleanup efforts still are continuing, rebuilding. We still haven't been to our home in a while, so when we go back, today is Thursday, right? And we plan to go back tomorrow, the 20th, and we will spend the weekend. Like, our refrigerator is black mold inside of it, so we've already scheduled a delivery of another refrigerator, so we'll have that going. Our air conditioning still is not working, and it will not be working. We need to get those replaced, so we're going to take the weekend to go in and make whatever efforts we can to try to make our house livable. And if it is still too hot in the home, because you have to remember it's in the 70s during the day, and that can warm our house up pretty quick.
Where we're at here in Ocala, it's 82 today, so it's warm.
It's warm.
So at least the air conditioners in here work Jinx. Well. And Annie's jinx, knock on wood, whatever.
No, I jinxed you because you said so at the same time.
So they're working good in here at least. So if we need to stay out in Annie, we can for a short period of time.
Yeah, we may get window units room units.
Yeah, go get some portable air conditioners. We've used those before and they work well. So we may go pick up a couple of those if we need to.
Yeah, our pool's still a mess. Haven't touched that. We have some services to call on that. Our lawyers are working as hard as they can to try to get with our insurance companies now. That whole process is starting because, again, remember, we still have no checks, and there were checks supposedly cut, but we don't know where they are. They're just gone. We don't know where they sent them. There's so much miscommunication between our previous public adjuster, which we parted ways with, but he was still slated to get some checks because he was to get them, sign them. People are all freaking out like, oh my gosh, what if he cashes them? Again, if he did that, he'd go to prison. You can't do that kind of thing without repercussions, so we're not worried about that. No one needs to be worried about that. It'll be fine. Our lawyers take care of everything. But we don't know where those checks are. So here it is, 16 weeks later, and still no money. Not flood money, not wind money, and FEMA still hasn't been to our house. So when we go back, cleanup efforts happen this weekend, and then starting, I guess, Monday, you're gonna start hitting like FEMA hard.
I start making calls.
Yeah, we need things to move because financially, like the SBA loan, we still haven't signed the paperwork to take out the SBA loan, which we may end up doing. We had our lawyers check the verbiage. It seems very standard, just to get maybe the air conditioners going, because they are going to be quite an expense. So roof still tarped, siding still removed from one side of our house, but the house itself inside, Tommy was there in October, should be livable, and otherwise it's just about kind of this like rebuilding process and then cleaning up, seeing what we want to do for our future. But for now, we feel safe in Annie. The air conditioning came on. It was loud. It gets a little loud.
They're great and they're cool, but they are a little loud.
Yep. So just to wrap it up, our whole story, still have a lot to do. We know Annie makes us feel safe. We'll stay in her. And if it gets to be too much, the rebuilding and stuff like that, while we're there, if we choose to do it all and stick around, we can just drive away. Yeah. So again, thank you for following our journey back to Sanibel. We'll continue to make occasional updates, just not weekly updates, because we're just going to have so much going on. So just stay tuned, watch our YouTube channel, our TikTok, our website for updates. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, we're all there, and we'll make sure we put out updates, because our lessons can become your lessons, whether you ever have to deal with a hurricane or a tornado or an earthquake or a mudslide. The whole insurance process is the same, especially when a lot of people are involved. And I do know that there are just still so many people that have been affected by this and still cannot finish their home or anything.
I mean, some people haven't even gotten started yet doing anything. I mean, there's a lot of people are in the same boat as us. Few people are further along, but most people are not. So
we're so fortunate.
We'll get there.
We're so fortunate that we even have something to go back to, because so many people didn't. So just thank you so much for your prayers, and we're sending out prayers for anyone else that is struggling right now, because we feel your pain. Bye, everyone.
Bye.